Let's go to a little bit of NBA real quick.
Okay.
So when we recorded our last episode, I think we were riding the Lakers high, and it was looking pretty good for them. Since that episode that never aired, they have taken a little bit of a plunge. It's not looked great. I think they're 5-5 in their last 10. LeBron last night, I think it was last night or the night before. I think night before looked pretty rough. Like 10 points. He was like 4 for 16 or something like that. Um, where are we at with the Lakers right now? Like, where do you see this season going? Is this LeBron's last year? Like, what do you got?
I, they had the chance this offseason, I think, to make some moves to solidify the front court depth next to Anthony Davis because I don't know if he's necessarily the traditional five that you would want. I think he plays better as the four, and there's like I mean, when they won the bubble ring, right? They had McGee and Dwight Howard, and it's not like those guys are amazing at those stages of their career, but they still had
Yeah.
guys that were able to play those positions, and they had a chance to get Valanciunas in the offseason, or maybe one of these like bigger body centers that can kind of take on the European that plays in Denver, which Lord help us all, that guy is holy moly.
Yeah, he
You can't
he's
stop him. You can only pray. At this point, he's like a nuke waiting to happen every night. But I just I saw recently that the usages have kind of flipped from Davis being the number one guy on that 10-4 run to start the year at like 30%, and LeBron was at like 25, and they've switched the numbers, and so now LeBron's higher usage. I think you got to go back to playing through Davis. I know Connect's been kind of cold as of late, and they haven't had Reeves the last couple games, but those are the only four guys that I have confidence in.
yeah.
Vando, we're
So
major
sad, dude.
Vandalorian brothers, but the
So
clock
sad.
is
Fall off.
he's he's so disappointing. Gabe Vincent's disappointing. Who else is disappointing on that team? Rui's been terrible this year. Um,
Rui, I don't I want to hesitate a little bit on that. I don't know. I feel like Rui hasn't been great. I don't know if he's been terrible though. Has it really been that bad?
it's been bad, dude. I think he's in the top or in the bottom 10 of layup percentage. He's like a cone on defense, and when he shoots threes and he's not like butt naked wide open, it's a brick. And he only plays well against Memphis, dude. It's like actually a
Yeah,
joke.
that's wild.
But here's the thing with them is that they have this guy that was playing super well in the preseason, that Quincy Olivari, I think is his name.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, okay, tell me he's worse. Tell me he's worse than Gabe Vincent to my face, with a straight face. I don't think you can. And so it's like, why are you not taking a risk on bringing this guy up? You have Bronny just sitting on the friggin' bench. Respect to Bronny, but like, please give me Quincy Olivari just to see if he can provide a spark. But I, I don't know if there's necessarily a move that's going to move him from play in to maybe the sixth seed at best. I just think that they're just kind of muddling around and just wasting AD and LeBron's years. What about you?
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's almost like the Cowboys. It's like you're not really all in. You can't say you're all in and then like not do anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just dumb. I think, and I don't think anyone had these super high expectations for the Lakers, but it's just when you have LeBron on your team, like you want to try, at least try and put out the effort. Like we've seen this year, this is at least over the last week, we'll see. LeBron's had a long career. We've seen some slumps.
yeah.
But to this point, as of late, it's kind of seemed like this might be the final, like we might have seen the best days of old LeBron, if that makes sense. Obviously, we haven't seen prime LeBron since like 2018, but like he's looking washed right now. He's looking pretty washed right now. And so now you're stuck with a team that doesn't really have any. I mean, like Reeves is good, whatever, but like young pieces to build around, not really feeling that. There's some young pieces, but building around those guys, no. And so there's just not really a lot to like, I don't know, be excited for.
Yeah.
Like you're more of like I root for the Lakers because of LeBron, but you're more of like the Lakers guy, and I'm sure it's just like, well, what are we doing? you know.
Yeah.
Um, I think Connect is going to figure it out. And I trust Reddick also to like figure this out. I do think we're gonna hopefully at least see a switch back to AD usage because that is a concerning stat that you were given about the usage rates. Like LeBron should not have an insane usage rate in year like 22
You're
or whatever.
45, bro.
Like it's just that's also just you're not gonna win that way. You're just not gonna do anything. Like you're not helping LeBron. You're not helping your team. Like you're just like you gotta get the offense through AD and kind of get LeBron in spurts to be the high usage guy. Like maybe end of the first quarter, AD goes out for a bit, and you kind of let LeBron go to work just for like that 2-3 minutes, right? Do that again, and at some point in the third quarter, whatever the case might be. Like I think that's kind of the model that they should follow. Guys that they should maybe trade for. Oh gosh, I don't even like they just have so many holes right now. They need like another big. They need I mean the classic, they need better shooting. Like I think that's still relevant. Um I mean De'Aaron Fox, we were talking about that before. Like if they really wanted to make a splash, like I don't know, I guess. If you want to take the ball out of LeBron's hands a little more. But it feels like it's a no hope thing right now. Even with how they started the year, like until they really get some momentum back, it's a no hope situation. I feel
Yeah.
like.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. They were talking about moving Gabe Vincent in a couple seconds for Valanciunas, but it's like,
But
okay,
who? Why would the Wizards take that
I
trade
I guess just like
for the draft picks?
for the second rounders and the cap relief of Valanciunas. But here's the thing, dude. They had the opportunity to sign him in the offseason, and LeBron said he'd take a pay cut to sign a
That's
big.
so dumb. It's so dumb.
I hate Palinka, bro. I Palinka is worse than any GM I've possibly ever seen in my life because he signs these guys to these contracts, and it's like, okay, like I think most fans buy into them being decent, but it's like, no, they're like Gabe Vincent, you're a bum. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, you're a bum, dude. Like you're getting
You
Cam
got to
Reddish.
add him now. Add him in the comments. Let's
Like
go.
it's just like terrible, and there's no saving this season, I don't think. But if they wanted to go for the Hail Mary, we talked about it. I maybe this is overpaying for somebody of this caliber,
Okay.
but I think if you were able to somehow get Ingram on the team,
Yeah.
and you'd have to give up at least a first. You're probably going to have to give up Reeves. I don't know if they'd necessarily take him on because they have McCullum and
I'd be
Dejounte.
fine with them doing that if they didn't give up like if that helped with giving up considerably less draft compensation, I'd be okay with that.
Yeah, maybe like Reeves a first and Max Christie. I don't know if that's. I mean,
Even
that's
that feels like a lot.
it seems like a lot, but also, I mean, Brandon Ingram's like the second best mid range player in the league this year behind the mid range god DeMar DeRozan, and so
But do they need mid range?
they
Do you think
need
they do?
they need realistically, you and I,
Anything?
they need everything, bro. They need everything. And the thing too is that right, they were rumored with Trey Young all the last 2 years, and it's like,
I don't
well,
know.
the Hawks are better than them now.
I know.
Like
That's crazy.
like you missed your window, and then a guy like Levine, like you could have had him last year, could have had him the year before. He says he wants to play with LeBron, and now he's having a career year. Like you're not going to get Levine anymore for what you could have got him for. So it's just like you just wasted 6 years of LeBron, 7 years of LeBron.
I've learned a lot of these. I feel like a lot of these players that we hear in the offseason, it's just like rumors to spark interest because like nothing ever comes out of it. Levine has been talked about. DeRozan has been talked about. Trey Young's been talked about. Now we're getting some BI rumors. Like until something actually happens,
Yeah,
it's just like who can we dream up to team with LeBron? And then but I don't know. I think if we can see, I could see them making a move if they get back on track. If they can go like get like a 8-2 over the last 10 kind of spurt and really like get some momentum and get because LeBron had like don't get me wrong, LeBron has not been good. A part of it is on him, straight up. And they got to get the ball to AD more. They they got to figure it out. But if they can, then I could see them making a move. I just don't see them doing that out of like desperation at this point. Like, why? I think they're like the 9 seed right now. Like,
Yeah.
it's not worth it enough.
I think at this point, I mean, after this year, depending on how everything shakes out, just go just ship LeBron off to wherever he wants to go, let him go do his thing, and maybe put like as a thank you because we're just wasting his career, and so maybe you get some guys back that you can turn into like some help around AD, and then you can get like a BI kind of guy to be the number two to AD. But at this point, I think after this year, just chalk it up as a loss and just
Yeah.
yeah.
I'd be shocked. I've had hope with the Lakers before, like come playoff time, just to like make things at least competitive and it just there's no spark of that yet that tells us it can happen. There's been no indication of like I feel like even like a lot of the teams in the West have like been kind of inconsistent to this point, but you see kind of the spark and you're like, okay, like they're gonna get that back, right?
Hmm.
Like the Nuggets are the 8 seed right now, but like
Oh
you kind of know they're gonna get that, they're gonna come back.
yeah,
You're not worried. They've battled injury. Like even last night against the Warriors, great comeback win. Like they're still there. You know, the Lakers. There's no reason to believe that right now. Absolutely none.
yeah.
Um. So last